Welcome and hello to each and every one of you who are right here with us on the Tropicana Corporation Berhad's official Facebook page. My name is Zora. It's a pleasure being your host for today's session. And for those of you who have just joined and you're wondering what's all this about, well, today is the 4th live session of the Tropicana 100 Extended Live Show series. And we are going to dive deeper right here today into the matured mixed development, or some of you may call it a transit-oriented development of Tropicana Gardens. And not forgetting, today we have a very, very special guest with me. His name is Peter Yong, the founder of Mr. Money TV, the very fast financial edutainment channel in the entire Malaysia. Now let's talk a little bit more about the focus property of today, which is Tropicana Gardens, developed by one of Malaysia's top 10 developers, none other than Tropicana Corporation Berhad. And it has a mixture of residential as well as commercial elements. For some of you who may have been to Tropicana Gardens, you'll also notice it has a 1 million square feet shopping mall, which is now already open, and a direct connection to the Surian MRT station. And Tropicana Gardens is also primarily located within the prestigious address of Tropicana Indah in Kota Damansara, and abounds with glitz, inspiration, and rejuvenation for the modern urbanite and family. Alright, now in today's session, we'll also be giving away some amazing prizes, 10 units of 50 ringgit Grab vouchers. And all you have to do is just follow the simple steps below and you will stand a chance to be one of the 10 winners. Now, step 1, all you have to do is like and share this live video. Do not forget to make sure that your post privacy is set to public, and also fill up the registration form pinned in the comment section below. And step 3, participate in the Q&A session. We want to keep this fun and engaging, so do engage with us throughout today's session. Besides that, for those of you who have filled in the forms, you will also be eligible to participate in the finale, a grand lucky draw. So after our live show series ends, we'll be announcing winners who will be going home or bringing back some attractive prizes, such as home appliances like the Dyson Air Purifier, also the Nespresso coffee machine, and a Harman Kardon Aura Studio Bluetooth speaker. So what are you waiting for? Fill in the form now and you may just be one of our lucky winners. To know more, remember to also like and follow the official Tropicana Corporation Berhad Facebook page. Now that we've mentioned all of that, we do want to make sure that you guys also fill in the RSVP form right now. And with that, I'm going to be asking and shooting away the very first question. It's a super easy one. So question number 1 is, where is Tropicana Gardens located? So once again, where is Tropicana Gardens located? Easy peasy, answer right now in the comment section below. Without further ado, let us kickstart today's session. Let me invite our guest speaker, who is right here with me today. Some of you may have already watched his channel, Mr. Money TV. So with me is the founder of Mr. Money TV. Let us welcome Peter Yong. Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you for being here with us, right here with us today. And we're going to pick your brains today to give us great, great insights. And I think for those of you who are actually tuning in, don't forget to actually ask questions. You only get Peter for like an hour or so today. So ask the questions in the comment section and he'll be answering some of your questions later. But let me just formally introduce you once again, right? So I've mentioned earlier, guys, that Peter is the founder of Mr. Money TV, the very first financial edutainment channel in Malaysia, believing that financial literacy could change the future of one's life. So with more than 10 years experience as a financial planner as well as advisor, and also through his creative storytelling process, Peter simplifies complex financial concepts into really informative content that people can act upon. So Peter, perhaps why don't, let's just get it from you, right from the horse's mouth. Can you just share with us a little bit about Mr. Money TV and what is it all about?
All right. Yeah. Firstly, thank you very much once again. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, Mr. Money TV is something that we started about 2 years ago. Yeah, so I have a 10 years experience as a financial planner. So along the way, I learned that many people need good financial advice, but not many people can afford a good one. Because to hire a real financial planner, someone who's good at what they do, very often involves a fee. But for many people, paying a fee for advice is not a viable option. So 2 years back, we decided to just put up free advice on the internet itself, on YouTube, since it's free, right?
Right.
Yeah, and let's see how it goes from there. And it caught on, and people enjoyed it, and yeah, here we are today. Yeah.
So who would you say, like, who is your typical target audience for Mr. Money TV?
Well, for us, generally right now, most of our audience are between 18 years old all the way until 34 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, that is actually the main group. And we have many people who are young working adults contacting us, people in young families, students as well. Yeah, and you'll be surprised. There are many students who actually managed to save up like 10, 20, 30,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're like 19 years old. Right?
Wow.
I'm thinking to myself, like, when I was 19, my God, I barely have 1,000 ringgit in my bank account.
Right.
Yeah. And they're asking about investment, how do I plan my money better, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Truly ahead of the curve, right? For those who have like 20, 30 ringgit savings just at that age. But I think, more interestingly, Mr. Money TV, the whole channel, the idea is to make all this valuable content really accessible, right, to the public. Yeah, we're super pleased that you're actually right here with us today to share more on your insights. Of course, today we'll be talking a little bit about investment as well as property. But perhaps before we actually dive into that, right, let's just talk about, I wouldn't say the elephant in the room, but of course what everyone's talking about, right? Like COVID-19, the pandemic, right? How do you view, has that changed your life or your work in any way?
Well, for me personally, because we moved online, like, the whole Mr. Money TV is an online thing, it's on YouTube. So for us, there wasn't too much of change. In fact, it was pretty good because due to the COVID itself, people became more financially aware.
Right.
I mean, for the first time in people's life, right? I mean, in the past, we all know that financial information is rather complicated. And most of the time, if someone approaches you talk about finance, you kind of like just, damn, it's so annoying and stuff like that. And then it's so hard to understand. But for the first time, because of COVID-19, people become very aware that, now I gotta face the fact that I need to learn about money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And because of that, then people started searching more information online. Yeah. But having said that as well, I think this period of time, you can either see it as a really bad thing or you can see it as a really good thing. I know a lot of people will say, COVID is very, very bad. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a lot of people lose their job. But I also see it as a time of opportunity because for the first time ever, you see more people leaving their jobs and coming out and then starting their own freelancing business. People are starting to realize that having just an employment income is not the only way to go. Yeah, and that creates a whole new sector in the market itself. And if you talk about like right now, even working, it's totally different. People are getting used to working through the internet, through Zoom, right?
Yeah.
And just as we started, we were saying that this
feels weird, but
but we just gotta get used to it, right? Yeah, and I believe for yourself as well, like for the first time, you've gotta keep coming out to the screen and
correct.
Rather than just being in the office, right? So things has really, really changed, and it's really a period where if you know how to adapt, then you can find opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's tough.
Yeah, I completely agree, right? So opportunity does, it resides right here, right now. And I think, what you've actually shared about how it's a moment of, I don't know if I want to say it's a reality check or a moment of awareness that people now are starting to take count of their life as a whole, right? So I think we see that in property as well. People now are, especially first-time home buyers, they're looking at their homes in a very different light or a different manner, and investments in a very different manner to generate passive income, like you said, right? So I think everyone's just taking an audit of their life, right? Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. And I think, another part that everyone talks about is the market outlook. right? Okay, now we have left about 3 months to the end of 2021. So in your words or in your perspective, how would you say the market outlook is for the balance or the remainder of 2021 as well as the entire 2022?
Definitely, when we look at the market right now, it's a period of recovery that will extend to next year. It's recovery from COVID itself. As right now, I was just telling on the way here today, I was telling my colleague that I haven't been in the jam for a very long time.
Were you in a jam today?
Yeah. And,
wow.
and the jam was like really bad, right? So people are starting to go back, right? And even when you look at childcare, just a few months back, when I was calling childcare centers, they were like, oh no, we're not opening up and stuff like that. And now when you call childcare center and they're like,
we're full, we can't take you.
like oh, we are starting again because many parents are starting to go back to work. So no one's going to take care of kids. They have to send them to daycare right now. So we can see the economy is slowly opening up. Right, we can see it slowly opening up. Just a few days back, my team went out for a shoot in KL, right? And they went past Chowkit. They said that it looked like there was no COVID at all.
Right.
Everyone was having a dream. So basically, what we can say is that people are starting to go back into office. Yeah, people are starting to travel again, and that is a theme that we can see. With that, it comes along with consumer spending. Naturally, as you go out, you spend money, you go for lunch, this and that, and it starts to come up again. So for the next period, we are going to see this recovery. How does it turn out to be? How much of it has changed, and how much of people will go back to eat in restaurants and so on and so forth.
Right.
So it is really just a period of recovery, and it's a good opportunity if you see anything, right? So we always tell people this thing, the market is always a cycle, right? There's always ups and there's always downs. And we have just been through the down. And hopefully the worst has passed and now we are just slowly heading the way up.
Right. So it's only upwards after this. I think even in property, we always talk also about 2021, the remainder of 2021, where now we have the home ownership campaign that lasts all the way, for this year. And then 2022 also becoming like what you say, a recovery year. And then we'll see how consumer spending actually translates, right?
That's right.
Into actual purchases and ownership. Fantastic points to start this entire segment. So now with all that being said, right, after all, you're known as the man behind Mr. Money TV. So maybe let's talk about things which are really and truly your forte, and I'm sure that's what the viewers tuned in for. What's your take, and how all this actually relates to property investment, and how would you compare property investment as opposed to other investment vehicles, such as stocks or maybe crypto?
Right. When we talk about investment, I think you got to look at everything in general. I think one part that in my whole time doing financial planning in my career, I came to learn that people sometimes tend to have this mistake when they look at investment is that they think a property investment is one thing, stock investment is one thing, and crypto investment is one thing. But actually, not really. You think about it, right? Unless you're ultra rich, you're really like having someone taking straw of each part. Generally for us as a normal middle upper, or even if you're in the normal T20, the thing is that you are trying to accumulate wealth for a reason. Like maybe it's for your children's education, maybe it's for retirement funds or whatnot. And that should be more important than the type of investment that you're looking at.
So you're saying like the goal should be more important, the objective.
That's right. So put it this way, right? If someone were to tell me that I'm going to go retire by next year, and I want to generate a passive income for myself, then I'll definitely tell you that property investment is a very good investment because you can rent it out, generate passive income. Right? Then if next year you're going to retire and you tell me I want to create an income, and then you say, Peter, should I invest in the stock market? Then, I see the stock going up. I thought that's the worst idea of all because what you need is actually income. It is not that great capital gain. So at the end of the day, it comes down to the context of why are you investing? What's your purpose? So when you find out your purpose, then you look at the particular instrument that you want to invest in, then you match it to see whether it matches or not. Certainly in last year itself, there were a lot of excitement in the stock market. there were a lot of excitement in cryptocurrencies, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly people that you see never ever spoke about investment.
Yeah, straight away diving into it, right?
right. Yeah, in fact I did a test. The day I went for a lunch somewhere last year. There was an opening for the MCO was lifted.
Right.
Then I went out for lunch lah. Yeah, and I purposely talked about stocks very loudly just to see what they respond.
Like from strangers, like from people nearby.
Yeah, so if I was at this table talking to my colleague, and
Okay.
we purposely talk about stocks very loudly. We say, see what other table will join in the conversation. And true enough, as we talk about stocks very loudly, the other table, they started talking about their investment in stocks as well. Oh yeah, I bought that, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, but coming in this year, you will know that if you speak to more people, like in our case, a lot of people text us, we also noticed that many people actually lost all their profit from last year. Because the stock market is not as exciting right now.
Yeah.
It started to resume back to normal.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that the sudden going up
Surge,
and,
yeah.
the surge is normal, but actually it's not. Yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
right? Now, the point that I want to make here is this, is last year made everything look very exciting. Yeah, but that is just last year. It is an abnormal year.
Yeah.
It's not something that's normal. If you're going to base last year's condition and judge every instrument and say that like, oh, because last year stock was very good, so
I should
that's
just
the
carry
best
on
investment
and
in the
just
world,
replicate.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like crypto was very good, so that's the best investment in the
Yeah.
world. And you use that exact same snapshot and judge it forward to judge different instrument, you may be in for a huge trouble. Yeah, you may be in for a huge trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of you out there, so here, this is like golden piece of advice, right? Play and play carefully also, probably. So now let's just dive a little bit deeper. What is the first thing to actually look at? You know, if we're just going to bring it right back to property, would you actually look at property as, oh, this is only purely for own stay? You know, it's something that you mess around only if you want to live there? Or would you say it's actually, you know, very viable for an investment? And if so, for what sort of profile of investors?
Personally, for those of you who have watched my show before, they will know that actually I started in property investment.
Ah,
Yeah,
all right.
So I did not, I started in stock investment in the beginning for a few months, but
Okay.
after that I bought properties as my main investment. The main reason is because of the ability to leverage.
Okay.
Right. I mean, like if you were to invest in the stock market, you got 10,000. That's all you got.
10,000 is 10,000 lah, yeah.
Yeah. But if you got 10,000, you can buy a $100,000 house.
Yeah.
Right. So that's 10 times the leverage in
Yeah.
that sense. Now, and so as a as a beginner, when you want to first start investing, especially when you're looking at properties, you need to understand the number one thing is this: do you have the cash flow to continue paying, regardless? So I like to tell people this one thing. If you're going to buy a property and you need to depend on rental, only you can pay for the property, then perhaps you shouldn't take that move because
Okay.
you're not financially capable yet, right? So you have to be able to pay for the installment regardless of whether you have a tenant or not,
Right.
right? So having said that, that would talk about the next part that you asked me, should I have a very specific strategy?
Yeah.
I personally think that generally everyone, when you first start investing in a property, you need to have a very clear idea of what you want, right? Do you want to buy the property to live yourself? Do you want to rent it out? Or do you want to buy it for capital gain? Because these three reasons have very different qualities. Right? When you talk about the first one, right, you want to rent out to people. People who rent property wants convenience.
Yep.
Yeah, no one will rent a very nice bungalow all the way in Nilai
Yeah.
because it just doesn't make sense. That's why I buy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then number two is that if you want to buy a property to have capital gain, then usually a lot of people say that landed is better, or either if it's not landed, then you make sure location is super golden,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Great neighborhood.
Yeah, great neighborhood,
Yeah.
super mature and stuff like that. So then last one is about staying. Staying is subjective lah. Some people like
Yeah. Correct.
So I got no comment
Yeah.
about that, right? No, but the point is this: if you have no clear reason of why you buy a property first, and your answer is, if I can't live, I'm gonna rent it out. If I can't rent, then I sell it. It means your property is neither desirable for rental, nor is it very desirable for someone to
stay,
buy
yeah.
for own stay. So then the price is in the middle, you know. Now I'm not saying that there's no properties that are like that. There are. There are, but usually it's not often. In that case, it has to have like at least one greatest thing is that super near to MRT station, right? So you must have some sort of like golden guarantee because of that location's advantage. Then you can still talk about this. If not, then generally you better make sure you have a very clear goal.
All right, super strong USP. I think you mentioned location a bit, right? So for location, you also mentioned, connectivity in the form of an MRT. Aside from all of that, like what are some of the other, you must look at criterias for, in your head, a good location? What are the important checklists?
For me, definitely the first checklist is the place has to have population.
Okay.
So everything comes down to this one word, population. Because if there's people there, then the price will go up. Got people there, only got rental, right?
Yeah,
correct. Like, let's take, I'm a PJ boy actually, so I've been growing up my life passing by Tropicana, originally the golf club, right? So it was always a prestigious development, right? And what makes it really interesting is the fact that if you actually look at it, the thing is that as long as it's got people in that place, people keep going to that place, then you got shops.
Yeah.
Then people will sell food there. Then there's activities. When there's activity, then people will want to be near activities. That's when you can have higher rental income. Now, so the population is the main drive, right? But what drives population to come in? Connectivity. It has the roads. So you will see certain places that have, let me give you an example, like a certain location in I shouldn't name locations, right? A certain location.
Well, you can try. Okay, in PJ.
Can I name?
Yeah, you can.
I shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Okay.
Never mind, I did it as your see lah. Okay. Like for example, Damansara Perdana generally, right? It is very near to PJ area.
Yeah.
But because there's only one road in, one road out. So because of that, you'll notice that Damansara Perdana, although it's very near, the price is slightly lower by average. Yeah, so connectivity is very, very important. And so, when you choose a particular location, you want to look at connectivity because the more cars can go in and come out, then the more people will be there. Standard, right? And number two is that other than roads, public transport. Because let's remember, there's one big part of people don't like to drive in. They don't like to drive in. As we are hiring people as well, we ask our fresh grad, they sometimes will ask us this question, do you have an MRT station nearby?
And I think having an MRT station also sort of like, if you're looking for it for like rental yield, it sort of opens up your tenant mix and your tenant profile as well, right?
That's right, right. Yeah, you have a lot more option when you have those kind of industries nearby. And the best part is, also on top of that, if you have a commercial center nearby. So note that I'm saying commercial center, not factories and car workshop, because that attracts a whole different crowd. You want to look at commercial center because commercial center are where people go have their lunch, they go and have a drink, they have social activities and so on. And naturally, people who can afford this kind of lifestyle are people with purchasing power and they have the money to pay for higher rent, they have the spending power. So therefore, because of that, the property in that vicinity usually can appreciate much better. So these are the few things that I always take into account.
I think that is a very, very good point that was actually shared, right? Population. I like the part where you say, it having just a prime location or a prime address will not make it a hub, right? Like you need connectivity, great infrastructure and amenities surrounding it as well. And I think this brings up points, that Edelweiss at Tropicana Gardens, an integrated development, actually checks all of these criteria and all of these boxes, right? You look at the 1 million square feet shopping mall that's already open, has great tenants and has great, I would say, retail mix as well with Village Grocer, the largest Starbucks reserve. So these are all like key drivers also for activity and to have that excitement and that buzz within the space, and not forgetting the connection, right, to the Surian MRT station that allows you to go places from Tropicana Gardens itself. So suddenly like Kuala Lumpur City Centre is not too far away even though you're staying in in PJ, you're well connected to all the various hubs or hotspots in Kuala Lumpur as well as Greater Klang Valley. Okay, so aside from that, since we're already talking about Tropicana Gardens and Edelweiss, Edelweiss comprises of two different components, service residences as well as SOFO. So perhaps, all the time people talk about service residences, but maybe not as much about SOFO. So perhaps you could share with our viewers today, how will you actually describe a SOFO and what can one do with a SOFO?
I think over the past few years there were a lot like SOFO, right?
Yeah.
Some people get a little bit confused, but generally I like to put all the technicalities aside. The point is this: it is basically a unit that can be used as both residence and also as a commercial space.
Right.
That is actually the whole point of it. I mean, we're going to put aside all the legal parts and so on and so forth. Now, naturally, the benefit of that kind of unit is for people who especially are looking for tenants who are in small businesses. Yeah, because like for example, Mr. Money TV, our outfit, we are very small. We have 5 people. Yeah, so naturally I can't rent a big office space, nor can I rent a too small space.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these days, we know that the kind of crowd that I want to attract to work for me are younger people. So I also want my location that I'm in is a little bit more hip. It should have some sort of facility, some security as well. It cannot be all the way. Where am I going, right? Yeah. So this is where SOFO, right, really plays that kind of role to allow smaller businesses to actually rent a place.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that is something that you have to understand when you actually buy or get involved with a SOFO unit to know that what kind of tenant are you getting. Now the good side of it is this: means that chances are people are renting from you are actually people doing business.
Okay.
So when business people pay rent, they don't drag
hopefully, right? They don't drag.
Usually I think all of us have probably heard before, businesses is renting to businesses is always a much better option. Yeah. And I do agree.
Yeah. And I think, with a SOFO unit, another thing is that the space becomes very versatile. Right?
Yes.
It's a space that you can play around with and repurpose, like you said. Not all businesses would need a certain configuration or a certain space. So with a SOFO unit, you have that flexibility as well. And then, of course, then you can also look at things like, I think some people look at SOFOs also for short-term stays.
That's right. Yeah.
So that there are a myriad of various options.
Yeah.
So I think, you also talk about the tenant profiles. We talk about businesses. Are there any other tenant profiles that you think could be viable for a SOFO unit?
I think young family, definitely. Like for example, let's say in my case, if I'm not married, then now I'm working really hard, trying to create my own business. I may actually get a SOFO unit because number one, you spend most of the time working, so your working space becomes your accommodation space as well.
Yep.
And even after I get married, I can kind of just lease it out to other people if I own that unit.
Right.
So that is actually the kind of tenant profile that you want to look at. Usually people who really needs that convenience and are still in that, drive
and hustles.
The hustle.
Yeah.
I mean, once you have a kid and all, then you may appreciate a landed unit when there's more space, right?
Right.
But when you are that young, hungry for growth, want to change your career, then certainly this kind is great because a SOFO unit also offers the same kind of flexibility and the kind of privacy like an apartment, condominium kind of feel.
Yeah, surely.
Now, most of the time when you walk in a SOFO, you will think that it's a condominium itself.
Yeah.
You won't feel that it's a commercial unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the part of a SOFO that makes it fun.
All right, fantastic stuff. Okay, so now guys, for those of you who would want to know a little bit more about Tropicana Gardens or Edelweiss, SOFO and service residences that we spoke about, all you have to do is actually scan the WhatsApp QR code on the screen or click on the link pinned in the comment section below. And right now, you can talk to one of our sales representatives. So do stay tuned. We still do have a special giveaway session right after this. Welcome to Tropicana Gardens, a dazzling 17-acre integrated transit-oriented master plan. Encompassing a flamboyant mix of residential and commercial elements, the landscape comprises of service residences, a 1 million square feet shopping mall called Tropicana Gardens Mall, an office tower, as well as a direct connection to the Surian MRT station, all within the pulsating address of Tropicana, Indah. Tropicana Gardens is strategically connected via the NKVE and LDP expressways to key areas such as Petaling Jaya and Kuala Lumpur, with upcoming MRT connection further enabling a lifestyle of accessibility and convenience. Edelweiss Sofo and Service Residences by Tropicana Gardens is just adjacent to the now open Surian MRT station, which is just one station away from Mutiara Damansara and Kota Damansara. It is located with amenities nearby, such as shopping malls, education institutions, hospitals, recreational and lifestyle outlets, including groceries, and more than 10 banks within a walking distance for your daily convenience. Edelweiss Sofo and Service Residences at Tropicana Gardens is an integrated mixed development launched in the year 2019 and is expected to be completed in the year 2024. Edelweiss consists of 52 stories with a total of 1,027 units, which is split into 397 units of Sofo and 630 units of service residences, as well as a 2-story retail space. It is suitable for both own stay, commercial usage, as well as investment purposes. Now, come, let's take a look at the show unit. We are now in the Type A service residences, which span 692 square feet. It comes decked out with a free digital door lock, air conditioning units, kitchen cabinets, hood and hob, washer and dryer, as well as a smart home system, which comprises of a smart home hub, door sensors, aircon controllers, as well as a smart socket. Now let's take a look at the living room. So this is where you would be spending your leisure time watching television or reading a book. It is a flexible, open concept layout. And what I love about this space is that it has large windows. Windows for you to enjoy amazing views of the golf course or city views. Now for those of you who want to whip out the chef in you, take a look at your kitchen and dining area. Right here, it comes fully fitted with a beautiful kitchen cabinet as well as the hood and hob. But not only that, it has ample of space for a small family to dine in style. Right here is the master bedroom, the space whereby you get to retreat to your slumber after a busy day out. It is large enough to fit a double bed, wardrobe, as well as dressing table. But my favorite part is the beautiful large windows, whereby it allows plenty of natural sunlight to come through. Right here is the ensuite master bathroom, complete with a WC and shower area that is separated. Now let's take a look at bedroom number 2, a second room for another person to stay, or perhaps your children, guests, or visitors. Or you could even transform this entire space into a study area or a working room. Also, it does come with beautiful large windows as well. There you have it, Edelweiss at Tropicana Gardens. Right here at this address, everything that you could want, wish, or dream for is located within easy reach. Imagine just going downstairs to grab your groceries at Village Grocer, or enjoy a great cup of coffee at the largest Starbucks Reserve, What more could you hope for? Or maybe a pampering spa session at one of the spas and salons below, or spend quality time with your family or friends at the trendy restaurants. Now, if you'd like to explore other hotspots within Kuala Lumpur or Klang Valley, all you would have to do is hop onto the MRT, as the Surin MRT station is located right at your doorstep. Now, right here, Tropicana Gardens, the true pulse of Petaling Jaya and Tropicana Indah. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you guys are impressed and liked what you see. So what I've taken you through is actually one of the show units, or rather one of the service residences at Tropicana Gardens. So if you'd like to know more, you know what to do by now. All you have to do is scan the WhatsApp QR code at the bottom, or click the link pinned in the comment section below and talk to one of our sales representatives right now. So as mentioned in the very beginning of the show, we will be giving away 10 units of 50 ringgit Grab vouchers for all of you to use. All you have to do is follow these simple steps below and you will stand a chance to be one of the 10 lucky winners. Step 1, like and share this live video. And of course, remember to set your profile to public. Step 2, fill in the registration form pinned in the comment section below. And step 3, participate in the Q&A session and engage with us throughout this session. So besides that, for those of you who have filled in the forms, you will also be eligible for what I would like to call the grand finale, or the final lucky draw after our live show series ends. So winners will stand a chance to win some amazing prizes for your homes, and these include a Dyson air purifier, one of my favorites, the Nespresso coffee machine, as well as a Harman Kardon Aura Studio Bluetooth speaker. So what are you waiting for? Fill in the form right now and you may just be one of our lucky winners. So to know more, remember to also like and follow the official Tropicana Corporation Berhad Facebook page. So with that, I hope you guys are ready. I'm going to be asking you right now the second question. Again, I promise it's a super easy one. So with that, question number 2 is, name me one of the amenities that is located nearby Tropicana Gardens. Any amenities. Like we said, it's a super mature neighborhood. There are plenty of amenities nearby. Not only that, there are actually amenities connected to Tropicana Gardens itself. Any of those answers would be right. So name me just one of the amenities that is located nearby or at Tropicana Gardens. Okay, with that being all said and done, for those of you who have just joined in, wondering what is going on, well, first and foremost, welcome. We have a very special guest with us here today. His name is Peter, the founder of Mr. Money TV, right here with us today. And for those of you who are watching our live now, if you have any questions at all to ask, feel free to actually put them in the comment section below. We will be going through and picking up some of your questions later on in this segment, and Peter himself will be answering your questions. So shoot away, all right? Okay, so Peter, now, I think there's no live show that you don't mention the word millennials. It's like a buzzword now. Oh, what do millennials think? What do millennials purchase? So I've got to ask you one question related to millennials as well, right? So some people, especially millennials, or so they say, right? They prefer to rent. So meaning they would choose to rent rather than buy or own a property. So what's your take on this? Should they buy? Should they rent? Should they do both? What's your opinion?
Again, I think that comes down to personality and what they really want. There's pros and cons in both choice, right? There's no wrong answer. I mean, if you look at somewhere like Hong Kong, most people rent because it's just not affordable to buy anything there, right? On the other hand, if you're talking about buying a property, very often you need to put down a down payment, you need to pay a lot more upfront fees, and you got to maintain the property, right? And when you rent a house, what happens is that it's clean. You just pay the rental, everything is taken care of. Even if the light bulb is spoiled, you just call your landlord and say, hey, light bulb spoiled, I can come and change it, right? So there's no other commitment in that sense. So because of that, it makes it much easier and flexible for someone to move around, right? Now, having said that as well, then I did this comparison before between buying a property and renting a property. Now, let me just say about the risk of buying first. So if let's say you were to buy a property, certainly the risk is the upfront payment, right? So the question is, do you have that upfront payment? If you don't have the upfront payment, then no, or you gotta lend money from people or borrow money from people to.
Then please don't,
right? Then don't, right? Now, number two is that your property. One thing good about property is it's proven to be a inflation hedging tool. At the end of the day, it will at least beat inflation. That's as low as it can go. So someone asked me a question the other day, like I'm about to buy property ABC like that, and provided in a good location, right? What's the worst that can happen? You beat inflation, no? That's the worst that can happen, right? If it's good, then it definitely go way better. I mean, there's a lot of factors that are involved, right? On the other hand, what if I don't buy a property, I just rent? Yes, sometimes renting a property, you can get a much cheaper price than maybe paying installments sometimes, depending on location again and so on and so forth. But what gives you the benefit is that access to that pool of cash. So assuming if I need to pay 100,000 as a down payment, but right now, because rent, I don't have to pay the 100,000, then it comes down to a question of, do I know how to use this 100,000 wisely? The truth is, if you were to just put this 100,000 into your saving bank account, then my advice to you is might as well just buy a property because at least it will increase in value. But if you really know how to make use of it and invest, and you get like super good returns, then you can be even way richer than owning a property. But if you lose money, then the story is the other side So I always tell people this, like, so having that access to the pool of cash, the best scenario is you become way richer. But the worst scenario is you have no house, also you got no money. So you are taking a little bit more risk, but you need to be very wise in how you manage it. Now, on the other hand, the thing is this: for someone who already owns the property, they are a lot more secure. Now, the truth is, by the day it comes down to the day that you are about to retire or when you have a family, especially as Asians, most of us would prefer to have our own homes to settle down. So you're kind of like taking a bet that by then when you buy a property, you can buy a good deal by then. But this is the area that we can't control, because let's say 10 years down the road, I'm going to get married, have a kid, right? I can't guarantee in that next 10 years, is it going to be a property boom or not? If just nice in that 10 years is the property boom, which the price actually went up more than normal, sorry, you are going to buy a property at a much higher price.
Correct.
So generally, I would say that if you have no money, rent. But if you have the kind of excess money and you make your calculation, you know that it fits right in your budget, that it doesn't give you that stretch, then owning a property gives you some sort of security. So it really comes down to your personal financial situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think like you can just lump it all together, right? Millennials should buy, millennials should rent. And I think you brought up a good point about when people are trying to start families and settle down, needs may change, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people forget like millennials nowadays, they are already at an age that, or at least quite a big chunk of them are already starting families as well. But it also depends on your own financial profile and how they would want to invest or own, within their means. So I think great stuff indeed. Thank you so much, Peter. And now it's come to probably my favorite segment, where I just need to read off the screen to see what are the burning questions that the audience has for you. So guys, this is your final chance. If you do have any questions, please do type it in the comment section below, and we will be randomly picking some of the questions to answer. Okay, I'm just gonna take a quick look at the screen. I think we've already got our first question. And the first question for you, Peter, is how would you advise an amateur with no investment knowledge like me to start investing?
Are you sure you're amateur?
or the audience. The audience is an amateur.
The audience,
yeah. So I'm reading their question.
Yeah. All right. I think that everyone begins somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So someone just has to start somewhere. The point is that when you first start small. Yeah. And I think that a lot of times when we first start, we always think that like there are certain investment that are a lot more advanced, right? And we talk about risk. So actually, the first thing that you need to do is to actually gain more knowledge, because your risk appetite will change according to the knowledge you gain.
Okay.
Let me give you an example, right? For a person who is very familiar with the stock market, maybe for him, stock is pretty safe, but investing in property could be something that he feels dangerous.
Yeah.
For someone who owns a business, he may be more than happy to buy a land and build a factory because he's familiar with it and he don't see that much as a risk, but buying bonds is risky to him.
Yeah.
So the point I want to make here is this: at the end of the day, risk is very relevant to knowledge. And the best thing an amateur can do is actually to learn as much as you can, so you can understand the qualities of each different investment, then make your judgment on what's suitable. Rather than just saying that, I think I'm low risk, then I stick with this one thing. Because you only know what you know, and there's a lot of things that you don't know.
True.
So
Very true.
I think the best investment is the fact that just go and gain more knowledge, and you don't have to pay for expensive classes and whatnot. The internet is full of knowledge. Just go YouTube, check all the knowledge.
Yeah. So I mean, like, okay, for like let's say for an amateur who wants to gain knowledge right now, and you mentioned like all these free tools, or just use Google, right, or search on the internet. Do you have like a certain regimen or a certain routine, like how you should best learn? Like what are the things you should search? Is there like a program? Like how do you even start? Like what if a person does not even know what to search for to gain knowledge?
That's a very, very good question. Yeah, these days, I mean, like, kind of like...
I mean, these days you're bombarded with knowledge, right? You don't even know where to pluck it from,
That's right.
It's
That's
like,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing about finance is this. While it has a very general topic, but each individual has something different. What I would suggest is I think a very good one is like Investopedia. It has knowledge about everything. So start by understanding business, right? Understanding the stock market, understanding the business. Go and Google business, how does it work? Understanding how buy and sell, the whole supply chain works. I think understanding how business works itself gives you a very good picture of a lot of things.
Okay.
A lot of things, a lot of other investment will suddenly make sense to you, because most of the financial instrument in the market was created to cater to the needs of business. So by understanding how the business runs, it's easier for you to understand the rest of the stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so just go and Google, not business management 101, but like entrepreneurship 101.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's good for a lot of people to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's really, really interesting. Hope that we gave you guys some tips and answered your very first question. We're going to move on to the next question, and I'm going to be reading out for you right now, Peter. Many friends of mine are playing with crypto. What's your opinion on crypto? Wow. Loaded question, 2 questions in one.
Yeah. Crypto, I personally, I have to say that I also own crypto, and I enjoy investing in cryptocurrency. But everyone got a different style in investing in cryptocurrency, and at the end of the day, there are also a lot of scams and nonsense that also use the name crypto to make a buck out of it.
Yeah.
So you've got to be very careful in what you're investing in, because not every crypto has its value. Yeah. So, and you got to decide on the strategy that you want to when investing in crypto. So don't just simply follow, like when someone tells you that, like, hey, this one very good, this particular crypto, is going to go up, then they just straight away buy. I think that is probably the worst thing that you're going to do lah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, that has a lot to do with also your answer to the very first question, right? I think knowledge is so important. Even once you start investing, you still have to keep up to date with the news, with the current trends,
Yes.
right? To stay abreast with what you are doing in terms of investment. All right, we're going to move on to the next question, and the next question I see is property related. Okay, we spoke a little bit about this, but I guess you can elaborate slightly. The question is, other than location, what are the factors to look for while getting a property? Or while owning a property, I guess.
Definitely, I would say that, like I mentioned earlier, population is the most important thing. So everything else comes second. Population, location is number one.
Yeah.
Everything else is second. Yeah. Anything other than this, then we talk about connectivity and all, right? I personally think that there is definitely a premium tag to developers. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if it's a what do we call that? Like a condominium unit
Right.
or apartment unit.
Service residences,
Yeah,
mixed
service
development,
residence,
yeah.
Yeah, mixed development, not a single landed kind of
Yeah.
thing. There is some sort of emphasis that's being played to the name of the developer lah. Yeah, that's true lah. Yeah, can't deny the fact. People will be like, oh, that particular name, then
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a branded sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's like
'Cause-
why we buy good brands for our home appliances,
Right,
or
yeah.
good brands for our bags,
Right.
or yeah.
So usually because of that as well, there is that slight assurance, at least, that the transition between developer to the joint body management is more smooth.
Yes.
Because in a mixed development, one of the biggest problem is that part.
Yeah.
Especially if the developer is the kind that I don't really care.
Yeah.
Then by the time it transits to the new management, then the new management is bad, then gone case.
Yes.
Yeah, your property, no matter what location, also will look like an old building.
Yeah.
So that one very, very important. And
Yeah.
here's where I would say that usually branded developers do their part in making sure that the transition goes well lah.
Right.
Yeah. So that is definitely an advantage that comes with a premium tag lah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Guys, I hope that answers your question. Moving on to the very next question. Oh, wow. Okay, so this person is asking for your preference. What is your preference? Mixed development or residential only property?
For myself, this will depend on the purpose of me getting this apartment, right? If I personally like to rent out apartments because I feel that being a landlord is a very fun thing. And then you get to collect cash, right?
Yeah. If you're
Yeah.
collecting cash.
Yeah, that's right. That's always my dream sale as a kid. Yeah. So when it comes to rental property, definitely mixed development is a lot better because, as I've mentioned, rental property, the goal is convenience, right? People want to rent a space that's convenient. So the more convenient, the better. That is a key point there. Now, on the other hand as well, certainly there are certain young crowds or expats and stuff like that who like to own the property in a mixed development area, and so you have like slightly more market there. Now, on the other hand, if I want to buy a property that is purely to have capital gain, especially if I know very clearly my target market is people who wants to live there, then I would look at residential only lah. Because put it this way, right? We always sell emotions.
Yes.
You're willing to pay more when it's emotions. Like for example, if you bring a person to a house, if the house is nicer, has a nicer view, I feel that I can raise my family here, immediately the fellow will be willing to pay a premium already.
Yes, that's right.
So these are the factors that you've got to consider. So the main thing, it still comes down to this, your own purpose. If you think that you're willing to pay more to stay in that particular place, then that is a very good reason to buy that place for capital gain purpose. Yeah.
All right. Well answered. Okay, I think now we are down to our very final question. Not too sure whether this is a question or a statement, but it says, I am interested. That's great to hear, guys. How much is it? And do you have any sales promo now? I don't know. Is that for me to answer?
I think it's better that you answer.
I think that's probably for me to answer.
I also would like to know, right?
Right? Yeah, gonna collect one booking right here, right? So guys, today for the entire segment, we've been talking about Edelweiss Sofo and Service Residences at Tropicana Gardens. So we have two different types of products, the Sofo, the small office, flexible office, as well as the service residences. Our Sofo units start from just 500,000 ringgit upwards, and our service residences start from 700,000 ringgit upwards. Of course, I'm giving you ballpark figures, so it's easier to digest for the purpose of this live. But not forgetting, when it comes to the sales promo that is asked, we do have a very special campaign that is running right now. Backed by popular demand, we have the Tropicana 100 Extended campaign. So now this offers the 100% solution to both own stay and investment. So if you're wondering what does this campaign offer, we are offering 100% returns on your booking fees, and then also 100% interest-free flexibility. So what this means is that you get up to 30 months of zero interest easy installment plan. And the third one, 100% legal fees borne, legal fees on both SPA and loan stamp duties on loan and MOT as well. 100% furnishing, this depends on the project within the campaign. We're offering fully as well as partially furnished units. And we have 100% financing. This means that you get to enjoy zero down payment, 100% financing and flexibility, as well as the lowest monthly payments. And last but certainly not least, for our viewers, if any of you are already a Tropicana member, a Tropicana Privilege Card member, one of our purchases, you get to enjoy 100% additional referral rewards. So what this means is that you earn double referral rewards when you successfully introduce a friend or family during the course of this Tropicana 100 Extended campaign. But now the big thing, right? For this Tropicana 100 Extended campaign, on top of all of those deals, you will stand a chance to win 1,000% returns. So that amounts to about 50,000 or up to 50,000 ringgit per unit. So 1,000% returns awaits you with the Tropicana 100 Extended campaign. So if you'd like to know more, of course, you can scan the QR code, the WhatsApp QR code below to speak to a sales representative, or you can, of course, visit our website, tropicanacorp.com.my, to find out more. Alright, so it looks like we've come to the end of today's segment. Thank you so much, Peter, for answering all of our viewers' questions. I'm sure if they would like to learn more, of course, go to Mr. Money TV. That's when you can get more insights and more great content from Peter. So now it's my turn to ask you, the viewers, the very final and third question. So before that, remember to actually complete the 3 steps to stand a chance to walk away with 50 ringgit Grab voucher. Step 1, like and share this live video. Remember to set your profile to public. Step 2, fill in the registration form pinned in the comment section below. Step 3, of course, participate in the Q&A session. I'm sure you guys already have, and I'm sure you guys have already engaged with us throughout this session. So now engage with our sales representatives as well. But remember, you guys also stand a chance to win amazing prizes in the finale lucky draw, which include a Nespresso coffee machine, the Dyson air purifier, as well as the Harman Kardon Aura Studio Bluetooth speaker. So what are you waiting for? Final chance to actually fill in the form right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and ask the third question, okay? So the third and final question is, what are the property types that are available in Edelweiss by Tropicana Gardens, or Edelweiss at Tropicana Gardens? So like I mentioned, there are 2 different types of properties. Do name them right now in the comment section below. Time does truly fly. And we've reached the end. The live session today has come to an end. Thank you very much to all of you who have tuned in with us right here on this weekend. It was really an insightful experience and session today. I hope all of you have enjoyed the show. If you'd like to know more about Tropicana Gardens, remember to just scan the WhatsApp QR code below. And to stay abreast with all the updates from Tropicana Corporation Berhad, do remember to like and follow us on our Tropicana Corporation Berhad Facebook page. So with that, thank you once again, Peter.
Thank you.
To all of you out there, stay safe, stay sane, till we meet again. Bye.
Bye.